Well, hello again and welcome to our reading of the Greek New Testament, and we're reading Matthew's Gospel, and we're up to chapter 5, the Sermon on the Mount. Interestingly, there's no equivalent pericope for this in the other Gospels. It's only in Matthew's Gospel, and of course it's the famous Sermon on the Mount. Idon de tus oculus anebe est to oros kai katisantos auto proseelthan autoi hoi methetai autou. And the subject, of course, is Jesus. Having seen the crowds, he went up into the mountain, and a genitive absolute, Jesus is the subject here, kathisantos autou, and him having sat down, hoi methetai autou, his disciples came to him. Kai anoixas, and by the way, it's not clear who these disciples are at this point. He's only got 4 of them so far that he's chosen out. Does this simply a generic word here for other followers? It's not clear at this point. Kai anoixas, this is the aorist participle from anoigo, to open. And having opened his mouth, he began to teach them, saying, it's an imperfect edidasken, often used inceptively, so he began to teach them, saying, Makarioi hoi ptokoi to pneumati hotiauton estin hebasileaton uranon. Blessed are the poor in spirit, because the kingdom of the heavens is of them, is theirs. Makarioi hoi penthuntes hoti autoi paraklethesontai. Blessed are those who are, pentheo is to suffer. So blessed are those who are suffering, or those who often mourn. It's translated as those experiencing penthos, grief. So blessed are those who are grieving, perhaps, because they, paraklethesontai, from parakaleo. This is the future passive here, as you see from the theta eta cluster, and then a sigma, and then the ending. So they will be comforted, or perhaps given encouragement. Makarioi hoi praes, hotiautoi kleronomesus intengen. Blessed are the meek. This is a third declension adjective, praus, and the praes is the third declension plural here. So blessed are the meek, for they themselves, or for they will inherit tan gan, the earth, from kleronomio. Continues on to verse 6. Makarioi hoi penontes kai dipsontes ten dikaiasunen hoti autoi cortes thesontai. Blessed are those who are hungry. This is a contracted participle from painao, I am hungry. So blessed are those hungry who are hungry, kai dipsantes, from dipsao. These are contract verbs. These are participles here from these contract verbs. So blessed are those who are hungry and thirsting for dikaiosune, righteousness, because they, cortes thesontai, they will be satisfied. Cortasdein is a funny verb. It occurs quite a bit in the New Testament. It originally referred to cattle grazing, but it takes on a more refined and softened meaning in the Septuagint, and in later Greek, where it comes to mean to satisfy. Mark uses it and esthio interchangeably in, for example, Mark 7:27 and 28. So it can mean to be satisfied here, so because they will be satisfied. Makarioi hoi eliemones hotiautoi eliesthesontai. Blessed are those who show mercy. Now the verb here is eleo, is I show mercy. This is an abstract noun, eleemon, third declension. So those who show mercy, because they themselves, and here we get the future passive from el-e-e-o, for they will have mercy shown to them. We don't have a passive verb in English we have to use it periphrastically. We say to receive mercy or have mercy shown to them. Makarioi hoi kathai roi te kardia, hotiautoi ton theon opsontai. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they, opsontai, will see God. This is the future, of course, from horao. Makarioi hoi eronapoioi. So blessed are the peacemakers, the ones who make peace, from erene and poieo, to do or make. This noun does not occur elsewhere in the New Testament. There is a corresponding verb, which is probably a neologism, which occurs once in the Septuagint in Proverbs 10:10. So blessed are the makers of peace. This is a very rare word, because they, kleithesontai, getting lots of practice of our future passives here, they will be called sons of God. Blessed are those dediogmenoi henekadikaiasunes horiauton estin hebasileoton uranon. Blessed are the ones, now this is a perfect passive participle from dioko. Dioko is to pursue. It can also mean to someone to chase after you and hence persecute you, and it's often got that meaning in later Greek, to persecute, and here it's the perfect passive, the ones having been persecuted. Heneken dikaiasunes, on account of righteousness, because the kingdom of the heavens is theirs. Makarioi esti hotan onedis sosin humas kai dioxosin kai aposin pan poneron kath humon, and then in brackets pseudominoi, henika emu, kairete kai agealaste hoti homistos humon polis en tois uranois, hutos ga ediox en tus prophetus tus pro humon. And blessed are you, este, this is the second person plural from the verb to be, when hotan is from hote plus an. So whenever they, we're not told who the they are, this is from onedisdo, to reproach, whenever they reproach you. Now here's that dioko verb again. This is the future here. This is subjunctive here after the hotan. So we get subjunctives here and here. So whenever they reproach you and they persecute you and they speak, pan poneron, each evil thing, kath hormone, against you, and then in brackets lying. So translated as falsely, but it means they telling lies. Heneka emu, on my account. Kairete, these are imperatives now. Kairete kai agaliaste, rejoice and be glad, from agaliaamai. This is a contracted alpha deponent middle verb. So rejoice and be glad, hoti homistos humon, because your reward, understand, is polus, great, in the heavens. In the plural. They generally use the plural for singular with heaven in the New Testament. Not always, but in many cases it's plural. For thus, in this way, there's dioko again, this is the aorist this time, they persecuted or chased after or pursued the prophets, the ones before you. Next section here, verse 13. Humes esti to halas tes ges. Ean de to halas moranthe en tini halistesatai es udin isque eti eme blethen exo catapatestai hupo ton anthropon. You are the salt Now, the normal word for salt in classical Greek from memory is hals. Seems to be a later form of this, to halas, third declension. But in Attic Greek, you'd probably more likely have just hals. So you are the salt of the earth. It's connected with our word salt. Of course, the H here in the hull represents Indo-European S, so it goes into Latin as sal, and of course into English as salt. So you are the salt of the earth, but if the salt, meronthe, this is aorist passive subjunctive. The original meaning of this, we get our word, unkind word moron from this. Amoros is a silly fellow. The original meaning of this verb is to be foolish. The meaning was softened a bit into something like to become insipid. And here it has the sense of losing its taste, that is, its sense of saltiness. So if the salt loses its saltiness, perhaps becomes insipid, entini, by what, or perhaps by whom, perhaps by what means, halisthesetai, from halisdemo, to be salty. So in what way will it be made salty? Es uden ikthue, we get an idiom here. It's literally, it is strong with respect to nothing, so it is efficacious with respect to nothing, so hence it becomes useless or worthless. So it is, perhaps useless might be better here. It is the eti translate here as something like now. It is now useless. It has no use. Ame, except. Blathen is the neuter aorist passive participle from ballo, and it's neuter because tot halos is neuter up here. So except having been thrown, exo, out, katapatesthai, to be trampled underfoot by men, from katapatio. Patio is to walk about, katapatio is to trample on, so to be, and it's passive here, to be trampled on by men. Humes esti tophos tu cosmu. Now the esti could be imperative, but I think given it was used back in verse 13, and it's clearly not imperative, I think there, we just take it as you are the the light of the world. Udunatai polis krubenai epano orus kai mene. A city is not able, krubenai, this is from, this could be kruphthenai in earlier Greek. It's from krupto, to hide, and the pit root, which is a p, is being turned into a beta, and the theta of the aorist infinitive is disappearing, so it's getting krubenai rather than kruphthenai here. So a city is not able to be hidden if it's lying on top of epano, oros, a mountain. This is genitive here. Just beware, this is to oros, third declension noun, so this is the genitive of the third declension noun after epano. On top of a hill. Nor, kaiusi, do they burn a luknon, a lamp, kai titheasi, from tithemi, nor do they place it, hupaton modion. This is a funny word here, often translated as bushel. It's a Latin loan word in Greek. It's not a Greek word, it's a Latin word, modius. It was originally denotes an amount of something. It's about 9 litres worth, so it's a liquid measure, and here it comes to mean a vessel that would contain that amount, and so here it's really a vessel, a 9 litre vessel, often just translated as bushel, or it's really just a container. So you don't want to place it under a container, but upon the luknian. Now notice we get luknos is the word for a lamp, and luknia is the word for a lamp stand. These are quite standard in Greek. and lampe, it shines, pass into all those in the house. Thus, in this way, lampsato, this is a middle imperative here from lampto. So in this way, let shine your light, so let your light shine before men, hopos, so that idosin, they might see, aorist subjunctive from horao, ta kala erga mon, your good works, and that they might glorify your Father, the one in the heavens. And that's the first 16 verses of chapter 5.